We are live once again. Once again, we are live. Please do not swear. Friday, the 22nd. Recording this for the group for education purposes. Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to write this in on here now. I got told off the other day. This is not financial advice. Just education. Okay, guys. Yeah, I think I'll save that as my disclaimer. Yeah, I got told off for that the other day. Naughty, naughty. So I hope we're all doing well. Happy Friday, everybody. I know you guys love my bad jokes, my motivational speaking and stuff like that, and I love doing it for you all as well. You inspire me. But all in all, we also like to make some money, don't we? So what I'm doing is I'll come on very briefly every so often. I think I'll choose a Friday morning and just explain what's happening, what we're doing, go over the strategy. Again, some of these videos are recorded and posted into my vault in the Telegram group for you guys to watch. But looking over today's trades so far, what we're looking at lining up after a mad week, mad week. So much high impact news this week. So it's a wild ride. The markets are mentally, at least. But going over the strategy today. So on the right hand side here, I have my 4 hour or daily. So it gives me a nice bias as to what the market's doing overall. Okay. As you can see, we have been rising throughout the night since yesterday, but we've reached a nice level here, a supply level, which I like. So scooching over here onto the left-hand side, I've called a sellout this morning on the red line. You can't see it on this side, but on my red line. I called the trade out here as an area around about here. And then later on in the Telegram group, called what's called a sniper sell, which is when I see this pin bar at the top here. And then we get in. Okay, and then we ride it down to these TP levels, take profit. So number one would be this area here. Number two, this area here, and final one, this area here. And we reassess. All the while making sure that our stop loss is anywhere up to here. Okay, so far so good. Currently 15 pips in profit. Very nice. If you're in this sell, if you're in the free group or the paid group, wonderful. Hope you're in this sell and enjoying these profits. Feel free to get out whenever you like. I set these targets based on my own analysis, but all in all, it's down to you. Second one, US 30. I like to work. I do enjoy trading US 30. And what I've also come across, guys, recently, which is very, very interesting, is this session bar color indicator. Okay. Just delete that because I don't use that. Session bar indicator. Look, if I turn it off, they go black and blue, like this side here. But if I turn them on, they change colors based on the session. And it's very, very good to know that. Why? Because the markets move in different directions based on which session that you're in. Oh, where's my screen gone? So if I zoom in a little bit, you can see these bars are currently green because we're in the London session. These are black in the Asian session, and these are red in the US session. So it's good to see that the US low was here. So potentially we could target this area and then see it break below. If it breaks below, then we can look at a bigger picture on this side of where it could end up going to. Okay. Stop loss above the previous session. So if it breaks above there, then more than likely it's going to continue up or at least retest down. Okay. Excuse me. So we've caught this. I opened a sell at 8 o'clock on the US 30. Where are we? 8 o'clock there. Seen a little rise up and then a nice drop down. Little rise up. Could have. Yeah, where were we? Yeah. 8 o'clock. No, yeah, that was it. Nice drop down. I got out and I think I got back in here at this retest. Went a bit into drawdown, but now we're flying back down. Nicely done. So that's the US 30 for you guys. Gold, again, similar thing. Looked at the opening. Here you can see 8 o'clock started, the London session started. It's moving up. But we've reached a level of supply, so we're targeting to come back down here because overall, over the last few days, it's been shooting down since the news at 7 p.m. Wednesday night about. Well, I can show you guys here. Federal funds rate did all week. It'd been going up since last Friday. Gold had been skyrocketing up, and then the news was released that it's not much has changed. And I ended up sat listening and watching this press conference. So I didn't think I'd ever get to a stage in my life where I was sat watching Chair Powell talk about federal rates and stuff like that. But I found myself quite interested in it, to be fair. But anyway, that's so I can get a good top-down analysis for you guys in the groups and stuff. Moving on from that, from the, as you can see here, 6 o'clock when it was released, huge drop down, huge drop into this area, which is a strong area, and then we're back. We're below the 1931 area, which is very, very important. It's rejected it, and it looks to be staying under that level. If it goes above 1931, we're going to look at a continuation of, I think. But I'm quite biased to see this area. This is where it was last Friday. We could potentially see it today. I mean, it's a bit very, very choppy with all this news, but this at 245 could be the killer that brings it down, guys. Again, it's not really doing much in the London session as usual for gold. By the way, guys, just for anybody who's wondering, the pound is just getting annihilated, guys. Like day after day, I'm watching this, reading this news. Bank rates is awful. So expect a lot of crap if you are living in the UK. It's just been like that for quite some time, actually. If I look at the GBP USD, look, these are days. So every one of these candles represents a day. So it's from the 13th of July, the value of the pound has dropped massively. We're talking going into nearly 3 months worth now, and it's just drop, news after news after news. And where it was at its worst was in the 27th of September this time last year. We could potentially be heading back down there. So obviously that could be a long way off, but who knows with the way it's going. So yeah, we broke under this support line, which means to me that's just going to keep going. It's rejected this area right now. It's just struggling to break through. But once it breaks through, it's a clear area down to, well, wherever it's going to continue down, to be fair, which is which is worrying. Not only is the US economy getting a bit better and a bit stronger, but also the pound is. Which the fortunate thing about Forex, if you don't know much about Forex, is it's not like stocks and stuff where you're buying, you're only ever buying, you can sell. So if down here you brought the pound, you would be making a lot of money while it's going up. And then if you got to the top and you sold the pound, you'd be making a lot of money while it's going down. It's not as easy as that because you've got to understand the charts and stuff on a day by day basis. But ultimately, if one person decided to buy the pound on Wednesday, the 8th of March, and then sell it on the 13th of July, they would be very, very wealthy and now making a lot of money. Maybe back down to this area. Who knows? I don't control the markets. I just see them as I see them through the eyes that I was given. And in that, I've been able to achieve some great results and help others to do the same as well, which is fun, which is always the best thing. Is whenever you're learning things, whenever you're growing yourself, developing, paying that stuff forward and helping others achieve is a wonderful thing to be able to do. So let's draw some pretty lines. So yeah, guys, let's go over the strategy. So I'll use this on gold because on this bigger picture for you, like hopefully this is recording. Yeah. So let's go over the strategy. Okay. First of all, we've got these indicators, right? Got these ones. Session bar color I've literally added recently, so it's not, not. It's just, yeah, it's another new one just to add some colors to the chart. But anyway, so we look for areas of support or resistance. So at the minute, it looks like we're going down. So first of all, you have a look at the chart, and you can see we are going down. At least in the most recent times, yeah, we're going down. So you look for an area of resistance or support. Okay, resistance is the ceiling that's above here. Yeah, the support would be the floor. So if it was up here, this would be support. Okay. So what I do with this strategy, very, very simple, is I'll look for look here where it's rejected. Yeah, this, go on to my Lux Algo, it's called Lux Algo sessions, and I'll look. Okay, Tokyo high was the highest point. Okay, and what I do, so just mark that out. Okay. I also have this easy support resistance dash, which you can just put on if you like and use that if you're unsure. But again, I can see something different to this, so it doesn't obviously always work. So what I do is I'll grab the Fibonacci, which is these 4 bars over here, from the top to the bottom, drag it across. Yeah. So the top is this bit here, where it started and moved down. The bottom is where it started to move back up. Okay. So 0 to 1. And then I look for the 0.85 area. Some people go on the 0.76, which is still okay, but I look for the 0.85 area. 0.76 is where I'll give my initial zone. So it could be anywhere in here. Okay. Oh, yeah, anywhere in there. So as you might have seen here, this here that's the zone I'll give. Okay. But the 0.85 area is where I look for like my sniper entry. That's the one with the tightest area, potentially usually it's the biggest lot size I'll put in. So I could start putting in certain lot sizes here, and then the biggest one I'll put in this area here. Okay, cool. Right, that's everything's on here as well, by the way, guys. So market structures down, Fibonacci, okay, supply and demand, So let's just explain the supply. Yeah, supply is above, demand is below. You can call it support resistance. I call it supply and demand. I'll explain what I see as support resistance in a moment. So supply is up here, okay, this area. Yeah. Now we've got the retracement. So we put the stop loss above this area here, okay, which usually amounts to around about 30 pips, yeah. And then we target the lows, but also taking into account where are we? Taking into account the news. Okay, high impact news will shoot the market up. It will make like big spikes quite quickly. So taking into account that if it's, say, news is at 130 and it's 120 here, you might want to close off some of the profits here and wait for the spike back up potentially, and then get back in after. Okay, cool. Right, next thing is this SVP, which is you have to pay for this indicator, but it's awesome. So it tells you where most of the volume is, and we like to sell down into it or buy up into it. Okay, the closer it is, the better, but that's the overall aim. So you can see here the red line here is below, so we're going to sell into that, yeah, which is what we're doing, as you can see right now. We're selling into it, and if we were looking at buys, then we'll be buying up to it, right? Awesome stuff. Now, the be all and end all of trading is quite simple. Anybody can download the app MetaTrader 4 or 5 and click a couple of buttons. It's that's it. That's part and parcel of trading. The execution stuff, the execution side, the clicking the button, right? And you don't even need to know anything about trading and forex to make money. That's the thing. That's the thing about it. But to be consistent over the course of time, you do need to know this stuff, right? You need to have what's called a strategy. So let's say, for example, think of it like in football, FA Cup. Yeah, you have the giant killers. You have a big team like your Man Uniteds or whatever. Well, not so much Man U these days, but you have your big teams. Your top 4 teams in the Premier League will go visit a Fleetwood Town or something like that, and every so often, once a year, a small team will beat these big teams and get into the next round, right? And that's similar to like getting lucky on trading. One day, somebody who's never traded forex before in their life will come in, put some money in an account, click a couple of buttons, and double their account. And you're like, "Whoa, this guy's brilliant!" Then the next day they'll do the same thing and it'll blow their account. Okay, why? Because they got lucky. You know, like going to the casino as well. They just got lucky. But the strategy is what keeps you at the top. Okay. So whenever I look at things, I have my moments as well. I am human, emotional as well. But when I look at the charts, I look at this and I see, right, this is all lining up nicely. Ideally, this red line would be closer up here. So that would be a better, what's called a confluence, which is a confirmation to take the trade. But it's not, so nothing to worry about. I'll just put them here. There you go. Okay, market structure is down, so we're looking for sells, which is why we're in a sell. Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, we're looking for the 0.85, which is this number here. There you go, bang on, 0.85, yeah. Stop loss above the high over here. Okay, where's the liquidity? Liquidity is where the money is. So first of all, this is liquidity here because there's a nice spike there. You can look at the liquidity from the sessions on the Lux Algo indicator. You can see the lowest point of London and New York was here, so that's liquidity there. That means that buyers are there, sellers are there. You know, that's the last place it was before its move up. And liquidity was here as well, guys. So now we have, obviously, now we have some here. See the spikes? That represents liquidity in my eyes. Okay, you have different views for different things, but that's what works for me. Okay, next thing is the point of control, which is the SVP. I've just explained that's the point of control. If that was closer up here, even better, but it still gives us leeway to get into it. Okay, it's where most of the volume's been of the traders in like the last session. Most of the movement, like you can see, not so much movement here, but like there's a build up of volume basically. Are there any imbalances? Imbalances like big moves. Okay, that potentially could be one. Some people call it a fair value gap. Okay. These are basically where the market's made a big move and left a gap. So if I just show you briefly, look at so go on 3 wicks, right? We're just going on 3 wicks, even though there's John Wick 4 now. Way 3 wicks. So this was the wick here, okay? Push up, big push up, and then a third wick there, okay? So there's a gap in between the first and the third wick. You see that? That gap there, yeah. That's an imbalance or a fair value gap. Okay, that's a tiny one, so it wouldn't really count. What it does represent is that the market's going to come back to here at some point and close this gap. All right, because it does, because then there's an imbalance at the minute. Hope that making sense. You like to look at for the imbalances on bigger time frames, to be fair. Let's have a look, shall we? You see, okay, if I just go back in time, just move this across, you can see, I'll show you here, perfect example. See this big move down here, this big candle, yeah? That created an imbalance. See that? Yeah? The first wick and the third wick, the spikes in between, the big push down, yeah? Or the push up, doesn't matter, but we're looking at push down here. Right, so that's created the gap, and I've drawn out the gap with that in with the blue box. All right, let's see what happens. Just keep moving forward, go back. Boom, tapped into it. So with that, so we're looking at sells. It's come back into the area. You click sell when it closes that gap. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Nice. 60 pip move. Awesome. 70 pip move. Back down to the zone, yeah? And then it's come up and it's completely closed the gap now before continuation up. Yeah, so do you see that? When you see an imbalance, it means it has to be cleared. So you could say, like, you might be thinking, well, if there's an imbalance here, why is it going to tap into this and then continue up? Yeah, it could very well do so. But based on the overall picture, I'm going to go that it will come down here, close this gap, come back up a little bit, come down. This is where we're at right now. So yeah, we could very well see down here. Yeah. And like that. Oh, like that. Okay, so it closes off gaps and stuff. Okay, I'm not in control of the markets, but that's what you could see, right? It'll be a great day all round, a great finish to the week if that's what we see, ladies and gents. So Awesome. So DJ US 30 is playing out nicely. Waiting for the pound to break through here, which could probably happen now in the afternoon. It's like it's made its main moves down for the London session. Who knows? Gold needs to now follow. So USD JPY, which is the dollar versus the yen, we're actually looking at going up. Let me explain why. So this is the 5-minute chart. So each one of these candle minutes, as you can see, the line that we use for the SVP is above it. So we're looking to buy into it. Not only that, is on the daily, which is this side here on the right hand side, we've been going up. Okay, so we're very biased for buys. Also, news: Japanese yen tumbles. Okay, excuse me, USD JPY eyes 150, meaning throughout the night, last night, bad news for JPY banks. Anyway, so bad news for the banks, weakness on the charts. Eyes on 150. So here we are now at 14835. If we just do that, that's where it's looking. Okay, that's a 200 pip move. So we're in a buy right now, and we're risking 30 pips for a 200 pip move. Not going to happen today. Well, if it does, great, but you don't want to get into the idea of thinking just because I've just clicked a few things on a chart there that suddenly it's just going to go and rocket up. You know, this isn't a pump in crypto during lockdown. You know, it's not how it works. It can move quite quickly, but ultimately, it's going to look like this: up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like a staircase. Okay, cool. And why is it trying to get to 150? I mean, it could go to 152, to be fair. It's reached it before, but it also rejected it. So 150 is what it's eyeing at, which is this area here, where even though it rejected 152, and it did come to 150. So very much could happen again. Why not? Why not, indeed? USD seems strong. Good news throughout the week and last week for the dollar. Bad news for the yen. And let's see where this ends up, guys. If you want to join the Telegram groups, there's a free one. I don't give too many signals and stuff in there, but enough for you to make some pips. And yeah, I also got a premium group.